Good morning, folks. This is Naim Asam, Chief Market Analyst at Evertrade, and welcome to our daily technical analysis video. Happy Monday to you, folks. Monday meaning this is the beginning of a new week, and that also means that we've got to have a look at the price action from a slightly longer term perspective. So we are going to look at those important support and resistance level, but what instruments are we going to look at? Today, it is about Bitcoin. Yes, the cryptocurrency, the king of cryptocurrency, and I'm going to have a look at the price action and then see what is in the store for this particular derivative or for Bitcoin. So before we do that, as always, it is important for us to go through this slide of disclaimers and risk warnings. Anything which will be discussed in this particular video cannot be perceived as an advice. If you are looking for one, please do consider consulting with your own advisors. Now, I am going to bring out the MT4 platform, and I'm sure most of you guys already know what MT4 platform is. If you not just look at any of the videos in relation to MT4 platform, what this does is this allows you to trade any derivative, whether we are talking about Forex, whether we're talking about commodities, stocks, or indices. But today, we are looking at Bitcoin. So the chart which is right in front of you, this is the chart for Bitcoin. And then right now, in terms of dollars, the United States dollars, the price is trading at 10,900. Earlier, we can see that for the last few weeks, the price has traded well over this particular price, and then it actually went this particular candle which is in red, but it shows that price actually went all the way to 12,044 because this is where the high of this particular candle is. So that is quite a critical, and more importantly, we are trading on a weekly time frame, as you can see from here, and then this is the high that I'm really referring to. Now, the question among investors and traders is that, okay, well, look, this particular high is done, but are we going to move towards this high? Because the price action for this particular week right over here is quite an important one. It's quite an impulsive reaction. It's just a very, very strong reaction to the upside. Does this mean that we are going to go towards this particular high? Well, there are a number of factors for that. Firstly, when we look at Bitcoin price, we look at, okay, why the prices are moving higher. And with respect to this particular week, when I look at it, there are a number of factors that we have really got to keep an eye on. So let me just type them over here for you guys, right? So firstly, what we're seeing a risk off in the equity market. That is one of the primary factors. Meaning, when I look at the equity markets, your normal stock markets, we are seeing a lot of fear, and investors are not backing those assets. Investors are not very much convinced that those assets are going to move higher. When we say assets, I mean stocks. That is whether we are talking about US stocks, whether we are talking about UK stocks or Asian stocks anyways. But with the trend, the prominent trend is trading to the downside. Okay, and then second thing is the dollar, because this is trading against the dollar, is likely to be very volatile. Why? Because the reason for that is this particular week we are expecting a large number of Federal Reserve's meetings and speeches, and that means dollar is going to move up or to the downside quite a lot. So that basically is positive for BTC or for Bitcoin, so meaning that it is likely to move to the upside. Now, this candle that we are seeing right over here, this is the candle for last week, right? And for this week, we are just over here. So right now, first of all, when we look at the price action, we've got to look at that. Look, this was the high for the last week, okay? and this was the low right at the bottom of this one. So that is the range that we are looking at. So that range is between 10,198 to 11,147. And right now the price is trading, as you can see, is just over here. The candle isn't really very clear, but you can see that this is a weekly candle. But when I move on to our daily time frame, this is where the things will start to look a little bit more clear. So we are trading right over here. Now, in order for this price to have some sort of a trend, to have some sort of a clarity, for us to have that clear direction, either we got to break to the upside out of this particular zone, or either we got to break to the downside. That will be an opportunity. As long as we continue to trade between these two lines, the one that I have just mentioned, one over here and one over here, the price is likely to just continue to move like that. And then that is just very boring price action, really, because that isn't really going to do any excitement for us. But the fact that the price is trading more towards the highs, because this is the high, the likely chances are that we are going to break to the upside from here. And if we break to the upside, the question is, where do we go from here? Because breaking to the upside is good, but where do we go? Well, for me, the next important level is, first of all, we're going to look at from the moving averages point of view. What do I mean by moving averages? This one in a purple, this particular line in purple, this represents your 50-day average price. That 50-day average price, my friend, is really trading in around over here. As you can see, it is trading just above that 11,000 mark, and you can say this is about 11,200 or so, right? So that is where it is currently trading at. Okay, so this is where I can see that, okay, if the price comes over here, investors and traders can become active, and then they can take some profit off the trade. But if we break above this line and we break to the upside, then then the next resistance is in around this particular mark, and that particular mark is going to be near 11,800 and or in around that area. And after that, the next one which is going to be in around here. So those price levels, as you can see on the chart, are just very it's not too far, but they're still there in terms of it. So the first one is going to be between 11,800, and the next one is going to be between 12,300. So these are the price levels that I'm really looking at. Now the next question comes in. Okay, Naeem, it's okay that you've told us about the resistance where the big sell orders are going to be, but where are those buy orders? Those buy orders, for me, the most important price level is going to be near its 100-day moving average, and that 100-day moving average is right over here. That is near that 10,000 mark. If I just zoom in a little bit, you will see that this is the price level that I really think that if the price fails to break anything above this and then it comes back over here, it needs to stay above this 100-day moving average. Because if it doesn't, then really this is the next price, this is the next level that it is going to be tested, and a break of this is very much likely to bring us right over here, which is your 200-day moving average. And we don't want the price to fall that far out, but the possibility is that yes, the price can actually come over here. There is no question about that, but you want the price to just come over here. And another thing that we also wanted to keep in mind in terms of a daily time frame is that this downward trend line, which is really forming on our daily time frame, right? And the price needs to break above that. The moment that we break above this price line, right? The moment that we break above this particular price line, then the chances are going to be even more bullish. So for now, what we are really looking at, we're looking for the price to break above this downward trend line and break above its 50-day moving average. Both of them would be very bullish. But if that doesn't happen, the price continues to trade to the downside, then that means we also got to have our other trend line, which is joining the lows And if I join the lows, the low of here, the low of here, then we have this triangle forming right now. And as long as the price continues to trade in between these two lines, that means the volatility is very much reducing for this particular asset. Then what we really got to be looking at is the price is going to break to the downside. And if it does, then this is the level that I am looking at, the 200-day simple moving average. If not, if it breaks to the upside, then the level that I'm really looking at is going to be in between 11,800 followed by that 12,000 mark right over here, the one which I have mentioned. So these are the potential price levels that I'm really looking at. Now, in terms of momentum, this RSI is very, very simple. If you wanted to put this RSI on your chart, you already got to do is go into insert, go into indicators, go into trend, and then put your oscillator over here, go into your oscillator, and then that's where you will find relative strength index. So when you click on that, this will put that RSI right over here. Now, when I look at the RSI, which represents the momentum, meaning which way the bulls and bears are trading, and right now, by looking at it, I can see that this is trading to the upside because that is my upward trend line. And as long as this stays above this, the RSI doesn't fall below that. And if it falls below that, that's okay, but it quickly needs to come back above that. So the question, the important thing is that we want the RSI to stay above this trend line. As long as it stays there, the chances are that we are very, very likely to break to the upside, meaning this price is likely to move to the upside. So let's see this price action throughout this week and see how the price will evolve from there. That's all for today, and I'll see you guys next time.